All right, good morning. Day 1, 2, 3, 4. Day 5 of 7 days, 7 axes, trailer load of hickory and oak, mostly hickory, a nip or two of gum in there. Today we're doing safety, axe safety. These are I teach at axe camp for people who have started to homestead but have grown up in town, or people who have a desk job and just want to get out in the woods one day and split wood and learn how to use an axe. Never swung one before, not since they grew up on the farm and they moved to town, blah, 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 blah. And part of that is safety. I know sometimes I wear questionable safety gear and have been called out for it. But this is truly, if you want to stay safe and not hurt yourself, then this is the portion of that camp that I teach, and I wanted to share it with you because I do feel like it is important consideration. However, as I was bringing all the gear out to my wood lot today, I spilled coffee all over my safety maxims, and that's frustrating. I've had that since 2017. Anyway, all right. Oh, it's a great team building thing too, like for work and stuff. I've done it for a couple of different companies where 10 or 15 folks will come out and they team up, split the wood, chop the tree down, all that stuff. It's pretty neat. I haven't done one for a couple of years. I kind of let it go, but these are the safety maxims that I teach. And for day 5, I'm going to share them with you. So, number 1 is my tool safe. That is pretty straightforward. Axes are 2 main parts: handle, head. Is the head loose? Is the handle cracked or broken? Is it sharp? Is there any defects going on that I need to worry about? This is more important when you have people around you. They're not deal breakers, they're just considerations. I have split lots of wood with an axe that has a loose head or a cracked handle. I just pay attention while I'm doing that, because this is a forceful activity. There's a lot of torque involved, and you can be swinging away and something can get looser or broker or crackter, and before you know it, you're swinging a piece of wood around because the steel has flown off. Now, I've never had that happen, but it could happen. So keep those considerations in mind, especially when you're with people, or if you are far away alone. Hard to get to medical attention. Okay, number 2, am I safe? Well, there's kind of 2 versions of that. One is, what's my physical condition? Do I have a shoulder that's bugging me, or lower back pain, or a blister, whatever? Am I hungover? Am I tired because I didn't sleep good, because I'm so excited to get out to my wood lot and apply the 7 safety maxims that guy showed me on YouTube? All kinds of things. Just don't let yourself get too foggy to where you hurt that injury more or cause a new one. The other thing is gear, PPE, right? So today I've got glasses. I always wear glasses because I'm blind as a bat without them. But if you don't wear glasses, especially if you're chainsawing, you should always have sunglasses on or safety glasses or something. Splitting wood eye pro is not as important just because it's very unlikely for something to come up and hit you in the face, but I would say always wear it because it's just not it's not a big ask, and protecting your eyes is super important because this stuff is all jagged and hard. You know, it's wood. Hands. Some people wear gloves when they're doing this stuff. I do sometimes I don't. Other videos in this series I've got gloves on. Today I don't. The only time I wear gloves is when the wood is wet, because wet wood will get your hands wet, which will soften them, which will cause them to get scratched up. Today it's a dewy morning, but the wood is nice and dry, feels good. Rough my hands up in a good way. No gloves today. I always wear gloves when I'm chainsawing, but of course we're not talking about that as much. The reason why I don't wear gloves all the time is because, one, I like, again, the kind of the therapy that the wood gives me. Makes my hands a little rougher when I'm not using gloves, which means that I can do this stuff without getting blisters. That takes time. I don't want to undo that. And you get a better grip without them, unless you got like super tacky gloves. I think you got a better grip, especially on wooden handles, with just your hands. Pants don't really matter all that much. I wouldn't wear like yoga leggings, you know, spandex. These are canvas pants, but I mean, I split in shorts from time to time. I'm not suggesting anybody does that, but pants are always a good option. And boots, leather boots, okay. Reinforced toe boots best, just because the log can roll funny off the block if you have a miscue with the axe and hit a foot. Leather and or reinforced leather is going to protect you much more than a rubber boot or a sneaker. So keep yourself safe. Number 3, the danger zone. The danger zone is when you're swinging an axe, you're creating this zone of zone of treacherousness. That's it. Treacherous. It's a danger zone. Danger is a better word. That's why I'm using it. And it's basically a 45-degree cone in front of you and behind you. Because if you lose your axe, it's probably going to go that way in the overswing, and the backswing is probably going to go behind you in some degree, depending on how you swing. So you want to make sure all kids, dogs, cars, spouses, etc. are not in those areas when you're swinging. If they are, ask them to move, wait till they move, or move what you're doing. So be conscious of the danger zone. This is the piece of gum. I'm gonna try it. Ooh, might get a little something on this one. Okay, number 4, where the hell is everybody? Well, that kind of plays into the danger zone a little bit, but you know, when you're splitting wood and it's not gum, the wood can go places the axe might not too. So you really need to pay attention to where everybody is, and especially little kids. Little kids don't recognize the danger that your activity's doing, and sometimes, you know, you just want to have them out there with you, but just pay attention to where they are, and make sure they're kind of aware of what you're doing too. If then, off the mark, number 5. So what that means is, if things don't go as planned, meaning if you don't hit what you're after, or it splits easier than you thought because you have ultimate axe swinging power, what's gonna happen. So this, I'm really hammering on this one now with the hopes that I can split it in two, because it's effectively broken, but there's fibers that are holding it together. Well, I don't think it's gonna explode all of a sudden, but if it did, what would happen? Well, in this case, because I'm splitting on this block, I've been splitting in this position, probably just gonna hit the block. 99% chance that's all that's gonna happen. But you need to be thinking about that when you're working, because the unexpected is when bad things happen. One time I was at my in-laws, they had an elm limb fall, not a big one, smaller around than that, and I had this brand new Raziel shop Gransfors Brooks felling axe. I was like, all right, I'm gonna put this axe to the test. Well, the limb was about eye level, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just chop off all the little limbs, and when I get all those cleaned off, I'll cut it in half. It'll fall on the ground, and I'll cut it up. So I swung like this, and I missed, or it glanced off, and the axe didn't stop moving until it was like right down here, because there was so much torque and arc in that. It took me all the way down to here to stop it. I got lucky. This was a number of years ago. And I learned that day, never swing at something over your head or at your head level. At least don't swing straight at it, because there's nothing to stop it if you miss. So that's really why that bullet's in there. Okay, number 6, know the why. That means, you know, what are you doing? What's the purpose? What's the objective? Why are you doing it? And keep that in mind. Don't get sidetracked. Try to stay focused, because if you got one objective but you start doing things that lead to a different one, you can get distracted. You can get results you don't want. Oh, why did I do that? You know, those kinds of comments when you talk to yourself. Oh, what am I thinking? Stay focused. And then number 7, know your limits. And those limits apply to you physically, mentally. You know, like I said, if you've got an injury, pay attention. If you've got a soreness that, you know, you're not a pro athlete, so nobody's paying you to play with an injury. So don't overdo that thing that will cause that injury to get worse. Also, if it's hot or you've been out here for a long time, I usually come out in the mornings and split for 20, 30, 45 minutes at most. But I have spent hours and hours out here on weekends, chopping, stacking, moving wood, all that stuff, to where I get the, are you done yet? I just get in that groove. In that groove, that's one thing, but if you start, you know, you need to stop and get some hydration going, or take a seat, get in the shade. Know your limits so that you don't get hurt as you bull through stuff. Then you also need to always pay attention to the limits of the tool that you're using. Today I've got the Gransfors splitting maul, which is really a light maul, but I would feel confident splitting every piece of this wood, big and small, with this thing. I don't know that I would do that with other axes. And so don't push harder with the tool that's not made to do what you're doing. If you're getting frustrated, if you're not getting anywhere, maybe reset. Grab a different tool, take a break. Don't use your chopper to split, don't use your splitter to chop, etc. All right, last piece. And I know, look, I know I've worn gym shorts and sneakers splitting wood before and posted videos about it. I guess you could call me posting a safety video a bit of hypocrisy, but I do think that if you watch this one, you'll be safer than if you watch those other ones, and you're gonna do as I do and say kind of a mood. So, hope you like that. Please feel free to give your safety tips below, as long as they don't conflict with any of my awesome ones, right? Okay, tomorrow's day 6. I got no clue. We'll see what happens.